Hey, man. Jeff, you can give us some feedback. Give some feedback to Nish if you can hear me, if my audio is okay. Hey, we're in the classroom. I'm on my phone. And we're not streaming today because we have technical issues. So, hang on one second. Hey, Nish, are you talking to Jeff?
No, he called you.
Yeah, just see if he's, if you can, I just want to see if we can you see if you can hear me? See if the stream is working? We're going to see how things are going. Yeah,
Where are you connected to?
I am just,
Oh, you're on a completely separate thing.
yeah, it's not today's class. Yeah, I didn't do today's class. Hey, everybody. All right. Hang on, I'm going to get off in a second. No, I'm not. There we go. Dude, I can't. I can't figure my phone out. Am I stuck?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
All right,
This is great.
hang on.
You're doing so good.
If I do this, how's that? Hang on. There we go. Just gonna leave that. Hey, listen, man. I'm on my phone. We're having technical issues today. It's the last class of the semester, and we're just not able to stream. So I wanted to hop on my phone and just say, like, hey, we're not streaming because we're having technical issues. And in any case, we were only going to have a 30-minute class because we have a third quiz today. And hang on, I'm going to show you something here. This is the crew trying to get us logged in, right? And this is the birthday queen, Darnisha. It is her 24th birthday. And anyway, so, and here we are in the classroom. So in any case, here's what's happening. Just kind of a sense of this if you're on. We're this is last week of the semester, but next week we're going to stream on Tuesday and Thursday at the same time. We've got a number of guests, that kind of classes, like classes, but we won't be in this particular classroom, but we will be nonetheless rocking live, and just different people are going to log in, and we'll have some conversations about a number of issues. So that will be next Tuesday and Thursday at the same time, and then our class, the class doesn't start up until the 9th, I think the 9th of January. We're on at 3:05 to 4:20 on Eastern Standard Time next semester. So we're a little bit earlier, but we will start Tuesday and Thursday starting on the 9th of January. But throughout the break, we are going to periodically have some conversations and with different folks, visitors and guests on the stream. Conversations that we can't really have here in this classroom because, we're going to dig into some more in-depth issues. So they can't really do, with students. And because they'll get bored. And I don't blame them for being bored because I would have been bored if I were their age. But we can do it on the stream and it's a little bit different. So I'm really looking forward to that. So next week will be 2 of them that we do. And that's it. And that's where we're at. So sorry about the, hey, Sam Willard, thanks, man. Thanks for loving the lectures. And what we're going to do next week, on one of the days anyway, we're going to open it up like we did a few weeks ago. So if people want to turn their cameras on and have a conversation with us, they can do that, right? If you have some questions or something, you'd like to just kick it around for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, it's a really good thing for me because I don't know who is out there watching, and I don't know what kinds of questions that people might have. So anyway, so next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and that's it. And class is starting. It's 16:35, and once again, I mean. Well, hang on. Actually, you can watch this if you want. I'm gonna. What's that? Yeah, we don't have Leah. Yeah, say hello now. We're actually. It's Nisha's birthday. I'm gonna get someone to sing to her.
Okay.
So why don't you do this, man? Why don't you? We'll keep the stream running and keep here. I'm gonna. So hang on. So you're on. They can hear you. There are people watching.
Okay.
They can't hear you. They can hear me. I turned it around. So, I'm gonna see if I can find someone who sings. Can you give me a couple stick notes? Here, hang on.
I can hold on.
All right, you got it.
Oh, there she is, Leah. Yeah. There's no stream going. So we're gonna stream this.
We're gonna get there, man. I gotta.
You want us to hold it?
Yeah, hold it while somebody's singing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live. People are watching. So we can, if you just want to hang out for a few minutes, you can turn the music on. We're just gonna have somebody sing for Niche. Yeah. Is anybody singing in here? Anybody a good vocalist? Dude, are you a vocalist? Are you? Is it? Who's got some killer pipes? Dude, that's you? Killer pipes? All right, come on. Yeah, come on. Could be your mama. I think it's your mama. All right.
I'm streaming.
What do you want me to say?
Oh, you sing happy birthday to their niece.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 24.
Wait, can you go in front? Sure.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Brendan.
Brendan?
Yes.
Dude, Brendan with the hair.
Yeah. It's a little poser right now. I just got out of the show.
That's all right.
I remember when I was 24.
All right, ready?
Darn you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yo, you can join in.
Happy birthday, dear Anisha. Happy birthday to you.
I'm going in the back.
All right. Okay, listen. I don't think you can. If you can keep it going, if they can hear, can they hear? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Listen. But at any moment, you can follow Jeff. Follow Jeff on there. When Jeff says, "All right, just cut it," you can cut it.
Okay.
Otherwise. Hey, so we're.
Can you text Chad?
No, when he says I'm there.
Yeah,
So
but can you just text
we're gonna
him?
have class for
Like, just let me
25
know.
minutes or so, and then that's it. I have a one final segment that I want to do, and then I'll take a couple questions, and then we'll rock and roll. And so, Blake, come on, have a seat. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good business.
Yeah, you're good.
Hi, I'm Blake. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I have a stutter.
A stutter.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys are, do you have the PowerPoint? Just go to the slide with me. Just like go forward. Yeah. So it was like class 4, bro. That's you, right?
Yeah.
Class 4. If you remember, look up. You were sitting over here.
Yeah.
And it was something really simple. And I said, hey, I gave you a microphone and I asked you a question. And you kind of just sat like that and you didn't respond.
Yeah, I said, why me?
Why would you?
Yeah.
To yourself? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And out loud.
Of all the people in the class, it was why you.
Yeah.
And I pick up the one guy in class with a stutter, right? So, but you emailed me and said, like, hey man, I'll volunteer. And I said, awesome, let's volunteer. So I have a couple questions for you. When you, in a situation like that, where were you at the level of kind of self-consciousness versus like wanting to talk and not talking? Like, just help us out, because everybody meets someone who has a stutter, but we don't often have a chance to hear from them to say like, hey, here's what I would like when people meet me and so on.
Well, that was kind of just a tough question in general, because you asked me my thoughts as a white man on black women with straight hair, and I was trying to be like cautious with my wording and everything too. But you asked how I want people to like respond to me? Or...
Yeah, well, like, for example, you when you get nervous, first off, do you stutter more when you get nervous?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's pretty nerve-wracking. I just throw a microphone in your face.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Well, let me ask you, was that more nerve-wracking than today? Like today you knew that you were going to be talking.
Well, it's weird because right now I'm more worried that I won't stutter, and people will think I'm just up here for no reason. But no, just because I'm fine talking about it. It's just like I was put on the spot.
Got it.
You know,
Yeah, got it.
so a little bit stressful, but
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Yeah. And so when you're speaking and you stutter, do you want people to acknowledge it, or do you want them just to pretend like you're not stuttering?
Well, a lot of people want to try to like talk for me if they see that I'm having a hard time.
Like finishing sentences?
Yeah, yeah, and in general, I don't like that doesn't really bother me. Like if I'm talking to you like one-on-one, it's kind of helpful. Like I'm fine with it. But if I'm talking to like a group of people and someone tries to like play the hero and swoop in and save me, I'm not a big fan of that.
That would, yeah, right, I got it.
Yeah, it's just kind of different.
So that's a lesson for people, right?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but probably don't, just to be safe. 'Cause, I would just kind of just be patient and they'll get it out.
Eventually, right? And so the more, the more people, but people get tense. Can you feel like when you're talking to someone and they start to tense up when you start to stutter?
If I like just meet them, yeah, like I can kind of tell if they're trying to
Okay, I'm gonna just.
figure out what's going on with me. But I I've never really had any like major issues with like being judged for it or. Well, plus I have a pretty minor case overall compared to like other people, but and I've been around it my whole life. Like it runs in my family. So my dad stutters, my uncle, my sister, my niece now, and me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's intense.
So like my dad spends his whole life trying to like work out like, what kind of things help make it easier, and then he kind of helps me find out ways to work out.
So once again, when you're speaking, when people who don't have a stutter encounter someone who does, and stutter, we just say, I know that's not the scientific word for it, but that's what you say, that's what your family says. Yeah. So when we encounter someone, just take a deep, this is what I always tell people, right? Because I've had a number of students in the past. It's just like, take a deep breath. It's like this person, in this case you're going to speak, you're going to get the words out. Just take a deep breath and don't be stressed for them, you know? Yeah. All right. I had a TA, a student, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, who had a really serious stutter. And he, in class, and then he became a TA for us, one of our facilitators at World in Conversation. And somehow, it just, the process of him, he really struggled, unlike you, like you have in your family and stuff, right? So it's like, it's just, he didn't have that. And so for him, it was a little bit more, he felt much more self-conscious than you. But by the time, after 3 years of facilitating at World of Conversation, his stutter had diminished so much. It was really,
Oh yeah, mine's gotten better as I've gotten older too. Like when I was in grade school, it was way worse. But I've kind of learned to deal with it in certain tricks. Like I've learned what words to avoid, what sounds. The vast majority of my stuttering isn't actually heard. It's me trying to like choose what words I can and can't say at that time. And I can usually tell when I'm about to stutter too, so I can kind of dodge it. Like I've learned, like I can't say Republican, so I say right wing. That's fine.
yeah.
Or like I work at Dairy Queen and I don't serve the cookie dough blizzards just because I can't do it.
Yeah.
So you know, like I've had a lot of people meet me and not know that I stutter just because I don't. Like I kind of avoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Do you avoid in part to make other people more relaxed or less stressful?
No, not really. I'm just worried about how I feel because you know it's kind of embarrassing if you have like a bad one.
Yeah.
And I've had some bad ones.
Some bad moments.
Oh yeah, I remember at Dairy Queen I stuttered so bad. This guy said "bless you" behind the counter.
He laid hands on you?
Well, no, like he thought I sneezed.
Oh, right.
Because I was trying to say the price, and it was $7.47, which is just the worst number. And I started talking, and I went, "All right, your total is." He goes, "Oh, bless you." And I was like, "Thanks."
That's awesome.
It was rough.
Well, you did. But so I wonder what you're saying, that you use the word embarrassing, but at the same time you're laughing. So
Oh,
it's like-
I laughed at it, and like my friends joke about like it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
It used to, but not.
Yeah, you have to have friends who, yeah, they have a good time.
Oh yeah, I'm like in school we used to do the popcorn reading, which is when like you call on someone to read.
Yeah.
And if I'm reading out loud and can't choose my words, my stutter's way worse, like way worse.
Yeah, yeah.
So they would save the bigger paragraphs for me.
Those sounds they know you can't make.
Yeah, and I call them.
What are friends for? I mean,
Exactly.
Hey, so it's cool. I mean, I think one of the things, like as we bring the class to a close on the last day, I think it's really actually a nice way to end things with you, because it's like, you know, the sense that there are all these invisible things that are happening, and everyone's walking through the world with things that we carry with us and that we're dealing with. And we can't always see them. Sometimes we can, but sometimes we can't. And there's just a certain amount of courageousness that happens when all of us just move forward and do what we need to do. So,
And I do want to say that, like, overall, I feel very lucky. Like, I have a disability, but I don't feel disabled. Like, I don't feel like I can't do
yeah.
what everyone else does just because of my speech problems. Which, they're more of like an annoyance than anything. I mean, unless I want to be an auctioneer or something, but like it won't really affect me that much. And like if I had to choose to have any type of disability, it would be stuttering, just because, you know, like blindness sucks. Like, I don't want to, you know, it's not that bad.
And final question, John. Would you say, it sounds like you would say there are many ways in which it's actually helped strengthen and build your character.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a perk sometimes. Like, I was taking the Spanish 3 oral exam, which is timed. So I told them I stutter, and then I told my partner, if you have to kill time, let me do my thing.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, that's a quote. Quote that. If you have to kill time, let me do my thing. Awesome. Hey, dude, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, that's. Hey, listen, we have about 10 minutes before we're gonna start the quiz. Who's got a question that they want to ask as we wrap it up? You got a question for me that you want to ask that you haven't asked somebody? Dude, I know you have a question. But... Yeah, can you make them fairly short? I'll try to respond quickly. Wait, I got you. Go ahead. You know, they're just things that come up that I think would be really interesting. And sometimes there'll be more than, like right now there's 2 things on Saudi Arabia. I don't know why this has happened that way. So I saw that article on the young women in Nigeria, for example, and I was just, this is cool. I like it, so I think that you'll like it. Like, you don't want to have boring textbook things, you know. I try to do as many videos as possible, but try to do things that'll open you up to stuff and not too many really technical things. So the one on sexuality and gender, that was really technical, but the question's pretty easy. So if it's hard to read, the question's going to be easy. Is that good? Yeah. Yeah, if anyone ever finds things that they think are interesting, send them to me. Who else? Who's got a question? It can be a personal question if you have it, right? Anything.
go-to resources for having not having bias and something that you can trust completely?
Dude, my go-to resources are finding something that I think I'm going to disagree with, and then finding somebody who holds that position, who I think is probably pretty smarter than I am, and then I listen to them, and I hear what they have to say. And then I think, okay, like for example, yeah, whatever it is, I don't have an example. Anything that I think I'm going to disagree with, I go towards it, and I find someone who's got something smart to say. Yeah. That's the go-to resource. It's not hard to find someone who's smarter than me, by the way, but, you know, obviously, that should be obvious by now. Yeah. Sure. Somebody else, who else has a question? You want to raise your hand now, so we don't have to wait.
Where do you see yourself in
Dead. Dead. Yeah. I mean, that's only 7 I'm young, but I plan for that so that I live every day as much as I possibly can. I mean, I'm really healthy, but yeah, I think I live with the idea that, yeah, man, I have a lot of time. That's why I don't worry about human, you know, I mean, I work, life is, let me tell you why life is better as you age, is you worry less about stuff. All the little tiny things you all worry about, yeah.